If you thought drama in basketball was reserved for the hardwood, think again. The world of NBA analysis just became a new court for heated debates. One where legends defend stars and controversial takes ignite social media storms. This week, the fire started with a single playoff loss and quickly spread, as Celtics icon Paul Pierce went head-to-head with analyst Rick Bucher over the reliability of Jayson Tatum in high-pressure moments. Was Bucher's skepticism warranted, or just another example of hot takes gone too far? Let's dive into what happened, why it matters, and whether Tatum deserves more respect as a clutch scorer in Boston. A playoff setback and a surge of criticism. Boston Celtics fans found themselves reeling after a tough 108-105 overtime defeat to the New York Knicks in Game 1 of the Western semifinals. Emotions were running high, not just among fans, but analysts as well. Jayson Tatum, the Celtics superstar, put up 23 points, tying Jaylen Brown for the team lead. But his glaring 1-for-9 shooting in the fourth quarter and overtime became a focal point for critics. One of the loudest voices? NBA analyst Rick Bucher. On FS1's Speak, Bucher didn't hold back, openly questioning Tatum's ability to deliver as a lead scorer when it truly counts. For a team filled with championship ambitions, having their go-to options scrutinized on national TV opened the floodgates to a much broader conversation. Rick Bucher's take: was it fair or flawed? Bucher minced no words when assessing Tatum's reliability. I don't see him as a pure scorer. I think he can score, and he fits in with what the Celtics are doing. But if I have to trust him as my #1 scoring option, it scares me. These comments didn't just ruffle feathers. They ignited a chain reaction on social media and across sports talk platforms. Some sided with Bucher, pointing to Tatum's inconsistency in the final moments of big games. Others argued that playoff basketball is about more than just one quarter or overtime performance. It's the full body of work that defines a star. But what does the data say? Tatum has averaged at least 26 points per game for 5 consecutive seasons. During the Celtics' 2024 NBA title run, Tatum was the team's leading scorer throughout the postseason. His role as a multifaceted contributor often goes beyond points, reflecting in rebounds, assists, and defensive play. Yet, basketball narratives often hinge on what happens when the game is on the line, and Tatum's Game 1 struggles provided fuel for critics who believe the Celtics need even more from their franchise face. Paul Pierce fires back. A legend's perspective. The take didn't sit well with Boston legend Paul Pierce, who didn't hesitate to respond on FS1's panel and later doubled down on social media. While Pierce offered a measured defense during the broadcast, his feelings were unmistakable in his online clapback aimed squarely at "This guy doesn't know anything about basketball, LOL." Coming from a player whose own clutch performances are the stuff of Celtics lore, Pierce's words carried both the authority of experience and the passion of someone who's lived through the scrutiny Tatum now faces. While critics pounce on every missed shot, Pierce sees a complete player whose game meets and often exceeds the challenges of today's NBA. Tatum's resume: missing context in the criticism. It's easy to get swept up in the tide of post-game analysis, but a closer look at Tatum's resume tells a perfectly different story. Not only has he consistently ranked among league scoring leaders, but Tatum's postseason excellence is well documented. His ability to perform on the league's brightest stages is marked by 5 straight seasons averaging 26-plus points, multiple playoff runs leading the Celtics in scoring, including their 2024 NBA championship campaign, flexibility to impact games beyond scoring, providing solid defense and crucial. Yes, Tatum went cold in the clutch during Game 1 versus the Knicks, but so did much of the Celtics roster. In fact, the team collectively set an ignominious playoff record for their shooting woes that, should one rough outing and less than ideal shooting down the stretch trump years of consistency and That's the crux of the debate. What this says about sports analysis and the NBA's pressure. This high-profile exchange between Pierce and Bucher shines a light on the pressures facing today's NBA stars. One poor performance can trigger a wave of negativity, at times overlooking broader consistency, and it also reminds us of the gulf between the world of the analyst and the mindset. For former greats like Pierce, the path to titles included as many setbacks as triumphs. For today's media, each stumble risks being magnified into a sweeping. Tatum's ordeal mirrors what many current stars: the demand to be perfect at all times, especially when games are decided in moments. As fans, media, and even former players debate, the challenge for the Celtics star will be to drown out the noise and respond where it matters most. Who gets the last word? Analyst, legend, or Tatum himself? The firestorm around Tatum's clutch credentials might be the story of the moment, but history tells us stars are defined by their responses to adversity, not just their stats. Will Tatum answer the critics in Game 2 and reclaim his status as Boston's indisputable? Or will the debate rage all the way to the end of the Celtics' playoff run? That's your cue, basketball fans. Was Booker too harsh, or is Pierce right in his defeat? Drop a like if you enjoyed this deep dive, and let us know in the comments. Who's your pick to silence the critics when the game is on the line? We'll keep bringing you the stories that shape the NBA conversation, so stay tuned and keep those hot takes coming.